Hey, Dr. Ray here, founder of the Learning Liaisons, and welcome. Welcome to our Wednesday evening math sessions featuring our math specialist and your math specialist, Amy Sink. In the next hour, Amy has put together a sample set of approximately 10 practice questions that run the gamut from kindergarten levels all the way through 12th grade high school math. Now, I know you are attending here, watching this, and you're like, well, I'm doing elementary in Texas, or I'm doing elementary in Praxis, or I'm doing high school math in Florida, or middle school math in Texas. And what's going on here, right? So we're doing these sessions to help you guys out and provide you with different ways to look at problems and to build that confidence. Because here at the Learning Liaisons, one of our major objectives is to clear up the testing confusion, give you the support you deserve in order to nail your exam and be done with it. So our focus is on math. Now, are we going to be just focusing on high school math the whole hour or elementary? No. We've got a mixture here. Now, Amy's going to go through a bunch of problems. You're going to have the opportunity to download those as a PDF. So when Amy starts, just pay attention to the screen. We're going to have a message there for you so you can download the PDF in case we don't get to all the problems or want to practice on your own. She's going to do her best to go across all different grade levels. If you have a question, you feel free to ask Amy your question as well. We're teachers here too, so we can multitask. Our job is to make sure that we give you what you need to be successful. But if you're like, dang it, I didn't have any questions this week, don't worry. We'll be here next Wednesday night as well. So bring those questions with you if you want, and you could ask Amy away. Because here at the Learning Liaisons, we pride ourselves in providing you guys the support you need to pass your exam. So whether you're our Florida teachers here with our FTCE exams, our national exam Praxis peeps, big shout out to you guys out there too, and especially our newcomers to the Learning Liaisons brand, TExES Prep. So whether you're elementary, middle school, and high school, we've got your back. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, get ready to learn some math, and stay tuned for the end because I'm going to jump back on to close this out, and I got a special surprise for you guys who really want to get the real deal prep and get everything you need to be successful and practice, clear up that confusion, and pass your certification exam on the next attempt. So, welcome to the Learning Liaisons community. Always remember, it's when you pass, not if you pass. So without further ado, let's turn it over to the reason why you're here, Amy. You with us, Amy? Let's get going.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Night Math Night. Like Dr. A said, I am Amy Sink, and I am one of the math specialists here at the Learning Liaisons. And we just love what we get to do each and every week, which is help you build your competence and confidence in your math skills. We know that these tests are not easy. And so we are here to help you feel more confident and competent in those math skills. Like he said, we are going to go over a variety of problems from pre-K through 12. And so if you're sitting here and you're like, man, we've gone over a problem or two and they're only for high school, don't worry, because there's something for everybody tonight. And so we will make sure to go over something for everybody tonight. If you have specific questions, if you have things that you're like, man, I really wish she would have gone over a little bit more geometry, or I really wish she would have gone over, you name it, let me know in the comment box. I absolutely love incorporating things that you want to see me go over. It makes my life easier and it makes your life easier because I'm going over things that are pertinent to your study sessions. And so don't hesitate to let me know in the comment box what you want to see me go over in the upcoming weeks. I always like to do a little get to know you question because it just helps it feel a little bit less like a computer screen and a little bit more like we are doing math together in a coffee shop. So in the comment box, let me know where you're from. What test are you prepping for? And the get to know you question. Y'all, I don't know where you're from, but in Florida, it has been chilly. We had a huge cold front come through and it was in the 30s the last couple of mornings. And that is rare for us Floridians, but I absolutely love it. Like if I could live in snow, I would, I don't want to like shovel snow. I just want to live in like a little bit of snow, but if I could live in snow, I would absolutely love it. I love when it's cold outside. And so do you love when it's cold outside or do you not love when it's cold outside? Are you more of like a 30s or a 50s or a 70s or a 90s, like beach all day? What kind of weather do you love? I love anything between 30s and 50s. Like, I think that that is just the perfect temperature. I love a coat. I love a scarf. I love leggings. I love boots. I love it all. So what kind of weather are you a fan of? I love when Floridians go to school. And I have a kid and I'm guilty of this, but when you see kids go to school in Florida and they have like their mittens and their hats and their zip up snow jackets and it's like 60 degrees outside, it's hilarious to me. But I get it. We don't get cold weather very often. And so kids are not used to it. So are you a cold weather person or a warm weather person? Let me know what you want me to review in the upcoming weeks. And I am going to go ahead and jump right into our first problem tonight. If the length of AB of square ABCD is X units and the length of EF is 2/3 of AD, what is the size of the shaded area? All right, so this is a problem that really, if you have to know basic area formulas, if you have to know the basic area formula for a square and a triangle, you can solve this problem. So this is really GK and really like probably 6th through 12th grade. So if the length of AB is X units, so we're going to label what we know before we start to solve. That is my favorite thing to do with geometry. So this is X units. And the length of EF is 2/3 of AD. Now, let's keep in mind that this is a square. So if this is a square and AB is X, then AD is X, DC is X, and BC is X. And we know that EF equals 2/3 of AD, which also means 2/3 times AD, which means it's 2/3 X, right? Of means multiply 90% of the time. Multiply, and the length of AD is X. So EF is going to be 2/3 of X. And they want to know the shaded area. So if I had actual numbers for this, my plan would be to do the area of the square minus the area of the triangle. Because if I do the area of the square and I subtract out the white part, which is the part that we have cut out, then I'm going to get the area of the shaded region, right? And so if I do area of a square and I subtract out area of a triangle, we are good to go. So area of a square, I'm going to do that in blue and I'll do triangle in pink. Area of the square equals length times width, rectangle, square, doesn't matter, which is going to be X times X, which is going to equal X squared. Are you following me? Okay. Area of the triangle equals 1/2 base times height. Base is going to be X, and I want to do as much of this in terms of X as possible because that's what my square is in terms of. So this is going to equal 1/2. Base is X. Height, we've already established, is 2/3 X. 1/2 X times 2/3 X. So this is going to equal X times X is X squared. And 1/2 times 2/3. The 2's can cancel, so this equals 1/3. If you're not sure why the 2's can cancel, then I could also do 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6, and then divide out the 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this equals 1/3 X squared. So now I have square minus triangle, and I'm going to do that in green. I have square minus triangle. Square is x squared minus triangle is 1/3 x squared. And that's going to equal, this is the same thing as 3/3 x squared. Yes. How did I get that? Because there's an imaginary 1 in front of any variable. And my imaginary 1, I just multiplied times 3/3. And so I have 3/3 is the same thing as 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. And why did I do that? So that I can have common denominators. 3 minus 1 is 2. Thirds. X squared is the area of the gray shaded area. So our answer is D. Questions about that? All right, let's move on to the next problem. What is the axis of symmetry for a parabola whose equation is 3x squared minus 12x plus 10.53? What is the axis of symmetry for a parabola whose equation is y equals 3x squared minus 12x plus 10.53? So axis of symmetry, let's talk about what even a parabola looks like. Okay, actually stop. I'm going to quickly show you how to solve this problem. And then I'm going to go back and do the parabola lesson. So this is a 7th through 12th grade problem. If you are taking the GK, I believe you need to know basics about quadratics. But if you need to know about quadratics, parabolas, anything, this is a problem for you. So the axis of symmetry is the imaginary line that cuts my parabola in half so that I could fold that parabola in half and get the same thing on each side. That said, where does that axis hit? That axis hits at my vertex. My vertex is either my highest or my lowest point of my parabola. So if I draw an axis of symmetry through that point vertically, then my axis of symmetry is just going to be the x value of my vertex. Well, the x value of my vertex can be found by doing x equals negative b over 2a, where a matches with your x squared plus bx plus c. And so in this case, this is A, this is B, and this is C. Number one mistake people make is they forget to take the sign that's attached to it, or they try to bring the variable with it. And A, B, and C are the coefficients that go with my x's or my variables. And so x equals negative b divided by 2a. B is negative 12. A is 3. So a negative 12 equals a positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive 12. 2 times 3 is 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now, let's backtrack because that problem should take 30 seconds if you are familiar with axis of symmetry. Let's backtrack for a minute. If I'm backtracking and I go back to my parabola lesson, I know that this parabola is an upward facing parabola because the 3 is positive. My leading coefficient is positive, so this is an upward facing parabola. I know that when I graph this parabola, it really didn't matter where I graphed it. It didn't matter if I put the parabola there for visuals or if I put it here for visuals. What I needed to know, it was upward facing, and I was just drawing something to remind me what this looked like. But because it has x squared, I know that I am dealing with a parabola. And then that axis of symmetry is just that x value of my vertex. Now, once I find the x value of my vertex, if it really said what is the vertex of the parabola, then I could take this 2 and I could plug it back in for each x and I could solve. Plugging it in means take the 2 and put it in for each x. So y equals 3 times 2 squared minus 12 times 2 plus 10.53. And then I could solve for the y value of the vertex. In this problem, we didn't need it, but I'm just giving you a crash course on parabolas in case you were curious. All right, let's go ahead and move on to problem number 3. A quadrilateral has coordinates. P is -2, 3. Q is 4, 7. R is -3, -5. S is 6, 0. What is the difference between the slope of lines PR and RS? What is the difference between the slope of lines PR and RS? So, what do we know about slope? This is also GK and on. But my elementary people, I'm going to go over coordinate plane. So while you may not need to understand how to solve this exact problem, we're going to go over coordinate plane here. So don't check out just yet. So what do we know about slope? Slope equals rise over run, which equals the difference of the y's divided by the difference of the x's. Remember, a lot of times if you Google what is the slope formula, it comes with these little 2's and these little 1's. I don't like those because they get confusing. My number one thing that I like to tell people is, don't worry about the 2's and the 1's. What you need to remember is whatever y you do first, you need to do its matching x first. That's all. So we want to know the difference, the answer to a subtraction problem between PR minus RS. So I need to find the slope of PR and I need to find the slope of RS. So I'm going to do the slope of PR first. P R, and then I have R S. So I'm going to do y minus y over x minus x. My x comes first. X comes first in the coordinate, in the actual coordinate, because X comes first in the alphabet. So I'm going to do Y minus Y over. Now, because I did the 3 first, I'm going to do the -2 first. X minus X. 3 minus 5 turns into 3 plus 5. -2 minus -3 turns into -2 plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. -2 plus 3 is 1. So this equals 8, a slope of 8. So I know I'm going to do 8 minus something. Now let's do our other slope. Y minus Y over X minus X. -5 minus 0 divided by, I started with this one, so now I'm going to start with this one, -3 minus 6. -5 minus 0 is -5. -3 minus 6 is -9, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So that's the slope of RS. And now I'm going to subtract. Now, when I look at my answer choices, I can pretty quickly see that my answer is not going to be 8. 8 is the slope of PR. It is not the difference between PR and RS. So I need to subtract 8 minus 5/9. And when I do that, I need to get common denominators. So I'm going to multiply the 8 times 9/9 because anything times 1 is itself, and anything divided by 1 is itself. Anything times 1 is itself. So 8 times anything divided by itself is 1. Sorry. So 8 times 1 is 8. I'm going to put this over 1. 8 times 9 is 72. 1 times 9 is 9. So now this turns into 72/9 minus 5/9. And now I can subtract my tops. 72 minus 5 is 67/9. So my answer is C. Questions about that problem? Let's do problem number 3. No, problem number 4. That was problem number 3. On a 1,500-mile road trip with 3 of her friends, Sam determines her truck consumes 14 gallons of gas for every 250 miles traveled. If the average cost of gasoline is $2.99 per gallon, how much in dollars will each person pay if they are splitting the gas bill evenly? So for this problem, this is a multi-step problem. So we have a 1,500-mile road trip. We have 3 of her friends and Sam. So how many people do we have? 4 people. Her truck consumes 14 gallons of gas for every 250 miles traveled. And the average cost of gasoline is $2.99. So the ultimate question, how much will each person pay if they are splitting the gas bill evenly? So let's take a look at this. We are on a 1,500-mile road trip. And for every 250 miles traveled, she gets 14 gallons of gas. So we're going to split this trip into 250-mile increments. 250, 500, 750, 1,000, 1,250, 1,500. I didn't do it exactly evenly, but that's okay. And every time we hit that, we're using 14 gallons of gas. 14, 14, 14, 14. So how many times are we using 14 gallons of gas? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 14 times 6 equals 84. 84 gallons total for the 1,500-mile road trip. Let's multiply that times $2.99 to figure out total cost. $251.16 is the total bill. Equals, divided by 4 friends, equals $62.79. Questions? All right, let's go ahead on to the next problem. In the figure to the right, A is the center of the circle. Which of the following must be true? AB and AC are perpendicular to each other. Triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle. AB and AC are congruent. AB and BC are congruent. This is a fun problem because we're looking at what must be true, not what could be true. We're looking for what must be true. And if we're looking for a must, we have to be able to prove it, right? So AB and AC are perpendicular to each other. AB and AC are perpendicular to each other. So they're saying that this and this create a right angle. Does it look like it creates a right angle? It absolutely does. It looks like a right angle. However, does that have to be the case? No, they did not give us a little square at the corner of AB and AC showing us that it's perpendicular. And so that is not something that must be true. Triangle ABC is equilateral. Could that be true? Sure, it absolutely could be true. However, have they given us anything to show that this is the same length as these two? They have not proven that or given us any information to prove that. So that is not a must either. AB and AC are congruent. Are these two congruent? If A is at the center of the circle, which it is, then those two things, those two line segments have to be congruent. Why? Because all line segments that exit the center of the circle and extend to the outside of the circle with a point on the outside of the circle are considered radius. And all radius are the same size. So AB and AC are considered radius, which means they are congruent. AC and BC are congruent. Again, if AC and BC were congruent, and that would be these two, then that would make this an equilateral triangle because AC and AB are automatically congruent. And so this actually contradicts itself with another answer choice, and so this can't be the case. They've also not given us that those two are congruent, and so C is the only correct answer for what must be true, not what could be true. Look at the statement below. Which of the following describes a rhombus? Opposite angles are supplementary. Adjacent angles are supplementary. All four sides are congruent. Exactly one set of congruent parallel lines. One only, two only, three only, two and three, or 2, 3, and 4. All right, so when we're looking at these statements, we're looking for what describes a rhombus. What do we know about a rhombus? A rhombus is a parallelogram. It has 4 equal sides. That's what's special about a rhombus. And when we draw a rhombus could be a square because a square is a parallelogram with 4 equal sides, but a rhombus could also be a tilted over square. When I look at this angle and this angle, opposite angles are not supplementary. Adjacent angles are supplementary. Adjacent angles are going to equal 180 degrees when you add them up. And definitely all 4 sides are congruent. So if this is all you could remember about a rhombus, you know it's not A because it doesn't include number 3. Has exactly one set of congruent parallel lines? That's definitely not true because it's a parallelogram. And so it's going to have two sets of congruent parallel lines. So we know it's not 4. So now if we couldn't remember if it was adjacent angles or not adjacent angles, we know that all 4 sides are congruent. And we know now we only have to decide, does it include adjacent angles being supplementary or not? We know now after our discussion that it does. So C is the correct answer. All righty. We are going to finish up a little early today. I am going to turn it back over to Dr. A. I look forward to seeing you next week. We will have math night next week. We will not have it the following week because of Thanksgiving. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and I'll be prepping some food and getting ready for some family time. And so we will not have math night the day before Thanksgiving, but we will have math night next week. So I look forward to seeing you then. I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. A, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.
All right, so wasn't that an amazing session? Now, I know, depending on what exam you have to take, you're like, man, that was great, but she didn't address everything I needed. She focused on all different questions that I just need elementary, or I just need middle school, I just need high school. Don't worry. Since you're still with us, I've got a special surprise for you. If you use the coupon code, all capital letters, SINK35, that's SINK 35, that will take off 35% off any of our prep courses on our website at the Learning Liaisons. It doesn't have to just be math. It could be anything that you need that we offer. And this is going to be an ongoing deal for you guys who attend these live sessions, because these are great. I'm sure Amy opened your eyes to some new concepts, some new ways to tackle problems, building that confidence. But this is just a smidget of your exam, the concepts on your test. So if you want the comprehensive view with the practice with Amy, with the practice test, with the lessons and the content review, we've got your back on our video boot camps, which all of them feature Amy Sink, your math specialist. So if you want to take advantage of that, the code is SINK35. You can use that at checkout on the learningliaisons.com website. And all that information is on our website as well, and on the bottom of the screen in this video. So we are here to help you. Once again, always remember, it's when you pass, not if you pass. Thank you for joining us again today, and hopefully we'll see you next week too. Talk to you soon.